Hi everyone. Today let's talk about the complete details on what happened on Loki Familia in 60th floor of dungeon, and how did Ice got eaten, or we should call she has been sealed by the curse. On this video we also going to discuss how there was a 7 Rivas, and we also going to talk of how many died and how many survive in that expedition. The only exception to this collaboration was Hogni and the elves of Freya Familia, who moved stealthily in the shadows. Tiona expressed her impatience, finding the situation boring. After surpassing the 40th floor, they accelerated their pace under Finn's orders. On the 49th floor, known as the Great Wilderness, they encountered a large amount of ash, remnants of a supernatural monsters, which is Balor. While Tiona and the others were confused, Finn smiled at an unseen king who had already warmed up, indicating Ottar's success at conquering Balor. The faction alliance passed through the challenging 49th floor without incident and swiftly reached their destination, the 50th floor. As they enter the 60th floor, the area has transformed into a demon realm, characterized by a deep crevice of about 50 meters. The adventurers cautiously descend, stepping on the pale flesh of the terrain, while others express their discomfort about the fleshy environment. Upon reaching the bottom, the adventurers find themselves in a vast space filled with pale flesh. They realize they are inside a monster's body. They are on high alert, aware of the potential for ambushes. Then suddenly a dragging sound is heard, heightening the tension among the party. Riveria alerts everyone to a long shadow approaching, revealing a horde of man-eating flowers. The mages respond swiftly, casting spells to combat the approaching threat. Riveria and Lafaya coordinate their attacks, unleashing powerful magic against the man-eating flowers. The battle escalates as the adventurers work together to fend off the monstrous horde. The creature's grotesque transformation begins, and a horrifying scream echoes from a living hell. Lafaya quickly reacts by activating her double cannon, which deploys a barrier magic to protect her friends from the incoming spiders. However, 2 spiders manage to evade the barrier and attack Alicia and Narvi, who are caught off guard. They are bitten and quickly immobilized by the spider's neurotoxin, which spreads through their bodies, causing them to convulse. As the transformation continues, a female upper body emerges from the spider. The newly formed creature, a blend of human and spider, embraces Alicia and Narvi in a grotesque manner, further showcasing the horror of their situation. The adventurers are left in shock, witnessing their friends being manipulated by the abominable creature. Meanwhile, Tiona and Tione have fallen under the influence of a charm effect caused by a light powder dispersed in the area. This charm effect poses a significant threat, as it can lead to friendly fire among the party. Finn analyzes the situation, realizing that the charm is acting more like a toxin than a mental attack, which complicates their response. Finn emphasizes the need to prioritize the immediate threat posed by the charmed adventurers over rescuing Alicia and Narvi, who are still under the spider's control. Finn activated his level 7 ability. He charged into the fray, skillfully maneuvering between the first-class adventurers. With precise strikes, he severed the tendons in Tiona's legs, causing her to fall in shock. He then commanded Ice to restrain Tiona while preparing for Tione's attack. Finn deftly dodged Tione and used his spear to immobilize her, demonstrating his expertise in handling her, and they managed to bring them back from charm. While a large figure observed the aftermath of the battle. The figure, embodying pure evil delight, prepared to unleash a powerful spell targeting Alicia and Narvi, who were still suffering from their ordeal. Alicia, crying in agony, and Narvi, with a vacant expression, were then both enveloped in a sacred light. 4 low-floating cylindrical magic circles fill the space with pure holy water, resembling a small fountain or spring. They manage to save and heal both Alicia and Narvi with the help of Airmid. The battle intensifies with magic swords and icewind magic, leading to the annihilation of the enemy hordes. Tione and Tiona awaken and express their anger at the situation, while Bate reacts with frustration to their playful behavior. As the group reorganizes, Narvi expresses her resilience after the traumatic experience. Alicia, struggling with her pride, mumbles self-affirmations, prompting concern from Anna Kitty and Lafaya. Finn instructs Riveria to comfort Alicia, leading to a moment of levity as Alicia's spirits lift with Riveria's gesture. Then a sudden tremor shook the dungeon, prompting the adventurers to leap back in unison. The ground split open, revealing a massive dragon. The adventurers were shocked to see the dragon, with one exclaiming they had never seen it before. Another identified it as the Venom Sky Centipede Dragon, a monster from the 67th floor, recorded by the Zeus and Hera Familias. It's the same as one Bell defeated in Dragon Valley. The dragon was over 50 meters long, with numerous segments and short legs, and it had massive wings, making it a genuine dragon species. Its glossy purple scales and formidable offense and defense made it a terrifying opponent. The dragon began to mutate, revealing a massive sphere in its head. From this sphere emerged a gigantic female body, which Lafia and others identified as a Demi spirit. This winged dragon woman radiated immense magical energy, indicating that it was far stronger than the Demi spirit they had previously fought on the 59th floor. As the dragon unleashed a devastating attack, the adventurers scattered to avoid the explosion. Finn issued rapid-fire commands, instructing his team to spread out and prepare for battle. Tsubaki and Hogni were told to attack, while Riveria gathered the middle and back line for support. Gareth and Lafaya were tasked with defending Riveria and the others. Alicia was given command of the support fire, and the elves of Freya Familia rallied behind her. As Ermid began her incantation, Raoul and others joined in the support fire. Meanwhile, Fels and Uranos observed the battle from afar, discussing the threat level posed by the mutated dungeon. They noted that the enemy was still holding back and that the adventurers had significantly improved since their last encounter. Loki, who had brought drinks to lighten the mood, watched over her children's safety despite the chaos unfolding in the dungeon. They faced a relentless barrage of attacks from the Demi-Spirit and the dungeon itself. They worked together to counter the onslaught, and many things happened, and at last, they managed to defeat the dragon. As the ashes fell, the corrupted spirit writhed in pain, pleading for help. Its grotesque grin revealed a broken psyche, and it called out for assistance, indicating that the fate of destruction was inevitable. The shadow visible only to the Palom rose and declared that the arrival of the apocalypse was unmovable. Lafia prepares to unleash an area attack magic spell. She activates a large magic circle that obliterates everything in its range, including walls, columns, and monsters. They reach the 60th floor after overcoming various obstacles when Ice suddenly feels a surge of anxiety as they encounter a massive, grotesque brain-like structure at the center, surrounded by a ring of light. The corrupted spirit, beautiful yet horrifying figure, emerges, revealing her desire to reunite with Arya, believing her to be her mother. As the corrupted spirit expresses her longing for Arya, the adventurers prepare for battle. Finn devises a plan to use Ice as bait to create an opening for their attack. However, the situation escalates when the spirit calls out to Rives, prompting Ice and Lafia to react in shock. A figure resembling Aura Moriel, an adventurer from Dionysus Familia, who had perished during the battle in Knossos, emerges from the shadows. Lafia is confused and horrified to see Aura, who appears to be a creature now, with a sinister magic stone embedded in her chest. Ice struggles to comprehend the presence of the creature, who identifies herself as Revis, who she had previously defeated. Revis acknowledges her dual identity, claiming to be both the same and different from the Revis Ice knows. Ice feels a profound discomfort, sensing that this version of Revis lacks the fighting spirit and heat that characterized the previous encounters. Revis explains that she is the last Revis, revealing that her essence was divided into 7 parts after her death, each part embedded into corpses to create new beings. Revis stated after her death, her soul was captured and divided by the corrupted spirit, which transformed her into a guardian of sorts. Revis expresses a complex relationship with this spirit, feeling both trapped and attached, akin to a parent-child dynamic. Despite her status as a puppet, she acknowledges a sense of loyalty and a desire to fulfill wishes for adventurers. Finn, observing the situation, feels a sense of unease, despite recognizing Revis as weak. He grapples with the decision of whether to confront her, sensing that her presence may lead to unforeseen consequences. As tension builds, Revis reveals that her original body was also an elf, hinting at her potential power. Suddenly, Ravis begins to chant a spell, causing her body to tear apart as she activates a powerful curse. In a moment of urgency, Finn commands Bate to act, leading to Bate stabbing the magic stone that contains Revis's essence, resulting in her demise. However, Revis's death triggers a massive magical reaction, unleashing a curse that engulfs the area in crimson light. The adventurers attempt to protect Ice with various barriers, but the light proves unstoppable. As the light envelops Ice, she experiences a profound connection with Ravis, resonating with her essence in a moment that transcends destruction. In this climactic moment, Ice's heart is exposed, and she is embraced by the spirit of Revis, leading to a deep resonant experience that intertwines their souls. Finn, Gareth, and Reveria rally their strength to fight against the storm and save Ice. Despite their efforts, the storm intensifies, and Reveria reaches out to Ice, only to be met with a shocking revelation. An azure ice barrier emerges, indicating the activation of the Thousand Azure Ice Garden, a defense mechanism triggered by Ice's scream. This revelation stuns Reveria and her allies, who realize that the very thing they sought to protect has become a source of danger. In the ensuing turmoil, Reveria and her allies are blown away by the shockwave of Ice, leaving Ice vulnerable. The spirit, reveling in its power, prepares to consume Ice, who is now encased in an ice orb. The adventurer, dazed and disoriented, witness the spirit's triumph as it swallows the orb whole, sealing Ice's fate. As the spirit relishes its victory, the adventurers, including Tiona and Tioni, are thrown into disarray. Tiona screams for Ice, but the chaos escalates as the spirit unleashes a storm that wreaks havoc on the adventurers. The once closed space becomes a battleground with the spirit's overwhelming power, causing destruction all around. Amidst the chaos, the spirit's true nature is revealed as it delights in the power it has gained from Ice. The adventurers, now desperate, struggle against the onslaught of the spirit's minions, which take the form of countless girls resembling Ice. Tiona charges forward, determined to save her friend, but is met with a horrifying sight as Ice likeness attacks her. In a moment of confusion and rage, Tiona is struck down, and the adventurers are left reeling as the spirit continues to spawn more Ice clones. The situation spirals into chaos, with the adventurers unable to regain their footing against the relentless assault. Finn, embodying the spirit of a true hero, channels all his magical power into a spear determined to turn the tide. With a fierce declaration, he launches the spear at the corrupted spirit, piercing through its defenses, resulting explosion of energy sends shockwaves throughout the demon realm, causing it to collapse. The adventurers, thrown to safety, witness the destruction of the spirit's domain. As the dust settles, Lafia quickly stood up, determined to return to the vast space where she had been separated from Reveria and the others. However, a mountain of flesh and shattered jewels blocked her path. Raoul confirmed that Narvi was safe, but his heart sank as he realized that only Lafia and 3 of their comrades remained. The others, including their leader and Aki, were missing. Raoul assessed their dire situation and felt despair wash over him. Lafia pleaded with him to help Ice and Reveria, but Raoul was overwhelmed by the realization that they were being swept back to a bottomless abyss, where the corrupted spirit awaited them. This is where Raoul decided and made a difficult decision. He decided to turn back and leave their top executive, just to save majority of the adventurers. The group faced relentless attacks from the monsters as they ascended through the floors. Raoul witnessed the loss of comrades, each death weighing heavily on him. He struggled with his identity as a coward and a traitor, yet he continued to lead his group, determined to survive and bring back the wounded. As they reached the surface after 5 grueling days, they counted their casualties. 8 from Loki Familia, 5 from Hephaestus Familia, 3 from Freya Familia, and others from various factions. Overwhelmed with self-reproach, Raoul the coward managed to bring back 57 members of the faction union. He ran towards the light of the surface, burdened by the losses but resolute in his choice to prioritize survival and responsibility over the allure of heroism. The battered Loki Familia emerged from the dungeon, shocking fellow adventurers with their appearance. Fells quickly relays the news of their failed expedition, prompting soldiers and healing teams to rush in and assist the critically injured. The sight is horrific, leaving onlookers feeling miserable, and Lafia cannot bear to watch. Lafia manages to stand and sees Loki, who is visibly shocked by the reduced number of survivors. Instead of comforting the injured or Lafia, Loki approaches Raoul, who is still in distress. As Loki reaches out to him in sympathy, Raoul, in a moment of desperation, knocks her hand away, causing blood to splatter on her cheek. He is filled with determination, declaring that he still has responsibilities to fulfill. Raoul, bloodied and desperate, shouts that the expedition has failed and pleads for reinforcements, emphasizing that their comrades are still trapped in the deeper layers of the dungeon. His cries echo in the silence, drawing the attention of the crowd, who look upon them with accusations of defeat. Lafia feels the weight of despair but refuses to succumb to it. While her fellow members hang their heads in anguish, Lafia stands firm, fueled by a source of anger and determination. She recognizes this anger as hope, which ignites a fire within her. In that moment, she sees a boy with white hair and crimson eyes, representing a new hero rising to the occasion. Lafia vows that this is not the end. She declares her resolve to shatter despair and launch a counterattack, embodying the spirit of hope and determination that will drive them forward.